Is it a conscious decision, a fear, that he doesn't feature in
Yeah, I
this?
think
They are
so.
going their separate ways professionally, aren't they?
I think it is a conscious decision that she wanted this to be about her and what she's doing and about the guests and less of the focus on him. Because I think if we had seen him more than we'd seen him in season 1, so in season 1, you know, he was more featured a little bit in the last episode, wasn't he, really? And I think if we'd got more than that, then the conversation we'd be having now is, why is there so much Prince Harry? Is it now the Prince Harry and Meghan show? Is he going to cook? Like, if we had him putting something in the oven, the headline would be, Meghan makes her husband cook. Oh my goodness, how dare he? He's going to burn alive. So I just think, yeah, it probably was a conscious editorial decision that in this particular series, we're going to talk about him and talk about the kids who we don't see as well and not necessarily have him in it, which I think is fine.
But from a ratings point of view, would it have been better for him to be in it? I mean, their big hit, of course, was Harry and Meghan, the documentary series.
Exactly. If I was one of the Netflix bosses, and I can assure you some of them will be, absolutely fuming at the fact that Harry is not in that, because that is what they paid the $100 million for. That's what they wanted, brand Harry and Meghan. They didn't just pay for Meghan, you know, actress off Suits, married well. They want Harry included in it, and he wasn't. So I think that it's a very, very bad move. And if she wants to get renewed for that 3rd season, this isn't a good start.
But she's the one that can deliver content, isn't she? And I mean, I don't think you agree, Samara, but actually she is a natural on camera. She is in her element. This is kind of her happy place to be. And, you know, to quote her, this is her authentic self, Ellie.
It is, and you can tell it is her happy place. She is an actress. She's a very good actress. If you believe some of the headlines, she's very good at playing a certain role. She plays this role well. She does come across as authentic in some parts. Other parts are quite forced, but also I don't know her as a person. Maybe that smug person is her constantly. Wouldn't really want a friend that smug. But it's just, yeah.
There were glimmers of hope. I mean, the bits that I did really like, I know people will find that hard to believe, but when she was talking about her deal or no deal days with Chrissy Teigen, putting the eyelashes in the plastic bag afterwards, her with Tan France saying, I used to do a McDonald's drive-through every time I had an audition and I used to get myself an apple pie as a treat. That was the authentic Meghan that people want to see, but it feels like she keeps that
She was a hostess in a restaurant on Sunset Boulevard as well.
Yeah, we want to hear about that side.
You do need more of that.
Yes.
Because it's just the simpering and the giggling doesn't really wash.
Well, we've definitely got more of sort of the backstory of who she is, how she got to, or why she's interested in the things she's interested in this season. When she was talking with the chef with the curly hair, I can't remember her name, the one that has the dinners with her friends every Monday, and she was talking about when they were binding the books, and she said, I used to teach this. I used to teach binding books and crafting and flower arranging and all that. And I was like, I kind of feel like you should lead with that for people who don't necessarily know that, because then the rest of, the whole thing makes sense. This is something that she used to teach and she was passionate about, I think. And if you don't know that about Meghan, then you're just like, why on earth are you making scarves and doing the flowers? But this is something she used to teach. There's, calligraphy, flower arranging, book binding, these are things that she was being really passionate about from day dot. And I think maybe leading with that would make it make sense to more people who don't necessarily know that about Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex.
She's also given an interview to Bloomberg Originals, The Circuit, and she's talked about, looking back at her high school self. She's asked about the price point of her products. I know you two are both purchasers of these. And, I would say the price point is pretty high, at kind of $9 for a jar of jam, which is the starting point, the entry level. And she describes that as her hero product. And the pricing was really key to her because she talked about being a high school kid aspiring to buy into a certain person and a certain brand. And she wanted to make that possible now for high school kids, and that a $9 jar of jam was affordable for them. I don't know about you. I mean, I wouldn't be spending that as a high school kid.
I don't think I would as a high school kid either. And I mean, I don't think my daughter would necessarily buy a £9 jar
Is
of
that
jam.
a bit tone deaf? Is that out of
jar of
touch?
jam.
I think she's just said that incredibly clumsily. I think if she'd have actually thought about what she was saying, I think she's said that wrong. I think what she's trying to say is she maybe wants the high school kids to think, I can achieve that one day when I'm doing this, because you'd have to be so out of touch if you thought someone at high school or, you know, college students could afford a jam.
I think it's about maybe if you really love someone and really love a brand and wanting to buy into it. I think I agree with you that perhaps it was clumsy, and that's what she's saying, that it's about buying into the brand and buying into something you love. Maybe, you know, people of our age would do it. I'm not sure about high school kids, but
I mean, I'd buy a £9 pot of jam if I really liked it, or I really wanted it, or if I, you know, because that's I like
would
spending my money
age,
on. I love food. I'm a foodie. But yeah, like when I was 18, I was more interested in nightclubs and nights than...
We know she was an aspirational teen, though. I won't forget that video that's now leaked of her driving in a convertible that her dad gifted her down Rodeo Drive, and sort of pointing out the shops. Like, we know that. I think there is some truth in what she said there, but I think she's the Golden Gates of Montecito have made her very cut off from what is a reasonable price for a pot of jam. That's $9. No way.
And what do we learn about her now? In episode 4, she's talking about colour and I'm a neutral person. Now, the reason why those of us who watch the royals closely might pick up on that is because, of course, one of the things, the criticism she made of life within the royal family was that she couldn't wear her choice of colours because she wanted to fade into the background, and as a less senior member of the royal family, you had to let everyone else go first. She is very much a neutral person, and it's her own choice now, isn't it, Afia?
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to the fashion on the show, I mean, it's long been talked about, you know, the brand she wears, and even some of her friends were complimenting the dresses and things that she wears. I think now that she feels she has more choice, that she can be exactly who she wants to be, she's leaning into her authentic self. And I think maybe with age as well, she's a bit older now. She's a mom of 2 now. The style that she's in really works for her.
And of course, she's also being able to monetize that style,
100%.
isn't she? Because you can link to buy some of those brands that she supports.
Link to shop, yeah.
Well, yeah, she also obviously said, you know, she wasn't really able to celebrate her heritage in the royal family, or at least that, you know, there were some accusations of racism. I would have loved to see some traditional meals then for this Nigerian side that she talks about, that she has. I mean, that was also missing, in my opinion, from the series, because she was very vocal about that from within the royal family. So that was also a confusing move. A lot of stuff is antithetical to what she was complaining about while she was in the royal family.
I think when it comes to her finding out her Nigerian heritage, remember she found that out after she stepped back as a working royal, so she wasn't vocal about that when she was within the royal family.
But
or
she
when
did
she was a
claim
working
that there
royal,
was racism while she was in the firm. And then and then she said she was trying to embrace her Nigerian heritage. So it would have been great to get a couple of meals, or maybe she could bring a famous Nigerian chef in and do that, because that is something that she's been vocal about.